just because there is truth in something doesn't make the system true. And I don't, God has spoken to me through all sorts of things in my life. And yeah, I've looked at websites that are very much totally not Christian websites, but there's been truth embedded in it, and that's spoken to me. I find I resonate with truth wherever it is, but I don't go looking for it in other places. If I come across it in another place, then I will look and resonate with the truth, but I'm not going searching for truth outside of the truth, which is the person. So if in our generational line, there have been things, well, some of those gifts, if they're passed down generationally to you, and that's God's intention, that's great. But not everything passed down generationally is all good. No. You know, so you know, better to spend the time getting closer and closer to God in that father-son or son-son relationship, then you'll find discernment increases. You know, Hebrews talks about training the senses through practice to discern what's good or bad, if you like. So not everyone's in a place where they could. And that's why I want to encourage everyone to engage with God. You know, a lot of people now are learning Hebrew. And it's like, for me, it's like, why would I want to learn another language when God can speak to me in English? You know, it's just another mediation step for me. So I just wouldn't bother, because often associated with learning Hebrew is a lot of Hebrew stuff, which we're not under anymore. So we're not under laws or feasts. And yeah, they have spiritual application, which you can learn of, but we're not under them. I'm not going to go back under, you know, wearing a kippah on my head or putting some tallit around me, which is another religious system. I'm not going to go back under it. You know, I'm coming out of religion, not going back in it. So I wouldn't encourage people to pursue learning a language. I'd rather that people spent more time with God, because you're going to discern and learn to listen to his voice much easier than trying to learn a language. Why does God got to speak to you in English? And I know people say, well, you won't get the mysteries of God unless you understand Hebrew. Well, that's nonsense. It's nonsense, because actually Jesus is the truth. He is the truth. You know, I really don't need to learn Hebrew to discern the truth. Now, I'm not saying that Hebrew living letters and all of those things aren't beings in heaven that you can connect to, but they communicate to you in a heart-to-heart way. They don't necessarily are going to say, well, here's the Hebrew language, go and learn it. It will take you years of study to learn the Hebrew language, just to a degree in which you will fully understand it. Years. Well, I'd rather spend all those years spending the time with God, because otherwise the Hebrew language will become the same sort of mediator that the Bible is. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, it's like, do I need to go back to Genesis and read it with a Hebrew understanding, or can I just ask God to show me what he wants to show me? It's much simpler and much more relational. You know, and no matter how good we are at any of that stuff, we're still interpreting it through our intellect. That is, I find, the problem with anything that's taking us back out of the relationship, back into something which is more formulaic. You know, so personally, it's not something I'm drawn to or feel any desire to engage. I want to simplify things rather than complicate them. And some of it is really complicated, you know. Now, do I believe in, you know, some of the sacred geometric stuff which is connected to it? Yeah, because God showed me it. I didn't go and study it out or find it in another book. He showed me the Metatron's cube. He took me there. He took me into the tree of life in the geometric dimensional perspective of it. He took me by engagement. I didn't need to discover it by reading another book. So I could have been, you know, go and search all that stuff out, but I'd rather him direct me to the things he wants me to engage in.